Welcome back to the show. Altcoin season is about to explode. XRP new market cap heights. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show. You can follow us on X, YouTube, and DigPerspectives.com for exclusive content. Right now, $4.04 trillion market cap for crypto. The market's now off by 2.3. Bitcoin, 118,000, wants to be 119,000. Ethereum, 3,800 here plus. And XRP at number 3 spot is $3.57. Now, we're up 1.3 on the 24. We're up 20.8 on the 7-day. Let's look at the range of price right here because XRP is starting to wake up this morning. Ranging between 342 and 357, we will keep an eye on it. I want to start right here, which is iTrustCapital. Listen, there's been a lot of scams. I'm telling you, you got to be careful what you click on. This is really a fantastic idea. It is the PCA accounts that iTrustCapital has come up with. And I want to say, if you haven't checked them out for IRAs, please do. What are you waiting for? You get the empowerment of your own back office. This is a remarkable opportunity with the IRAs alone, let alone President Trump just announced they're going to unlock $9 trillion worth of 401ks. And for the first time ever, you'll be able to have hands-on control of your 401k because you could roll it right into your IRA, just like that. But let's talk about this PCA. It's the Premium Custody Account, which is a closed-loop system. It is specifically designed for people who are long-term holders who don't do a lot of moving assets in and out of assets. It is for removing that attack vector from SIM card swap hacks or if you're phishing email or whatever, which I fell victim to before. You know, these things are all potential bad windows that open up and can get all of us. And on the wrong day, it could catch anybody off guard. It's caught the co-founder, executives at iTrust. It's caught me. It's caught many people that I know in this space. And you know what? They said, with that in mind, we need to design an account that allows you to go in with your cash and crypto, but you can only come out to cash to close that vector for bad actors stealing our crypto. So that way, if somebody were to get into your account, God forbid, then the only thing could happen is the money would be sent to your checking account. And that is a safety mechanism there. I love what they've done here. You guys know I keep my assets spread across multiple platforms. iTrustCapital has been a trusted platform for me for at least 6 years. So I hope you check this out. iTrustCapital.com/XRPArmy. Use the code XRP6. Click the link underneath the video to get started. You're going to love this opportunity, I'm telling you. And look, no monthly fee, 1% trading fee. It's a fantastic opportunity if you're just looking to keep your assets safe and get that institutional grade custody that everybody's looking for. But it is a closed loop system, so make sure you understand that. So click the link under it to get started and check out that IRA. First 20 years of the 100-year cycle, ladies and gentlemen. The diagram that Chad Steingraber is sharing here is the 18% chance of a 2025 recession chance. That's what we're talking about here. So the first 20 years of the 100-year cycle, which we've just entered, is the most prosperous and richest period in the entire cycle lifespan. This is the part, if you play your cards right, that makes generational wealth. I completely agree with Chad on this. You know, we are moving into a transitional period. We know a fourth turning is coming, right? We know that there is a new Bretton Woods, a grand economic reordering, according to the U.S. Treasury Secretary himself saying it, why he took the job, in fact. So this is a moment that if you understand the landscape and what's going on, the possibilities are really remarkable to create some incredible wealth. Now listen to Paul Atkins as he says something so very important here. It is a stamp of approval from the government for digital assets and certainly stable coins.
So I thought this was a really great watershed and thanks to the president for his leadership and the Congress for getting this out and getting that bill to the president's desk for signature. I think this bill the Genius Act is focused on payment stablecoins, and so that's not really within the SEC's ambit of regulation, but it's really for the banking regulators as is appropriate. But the one great thing about this is that for the first time now, the United States government has put its stamp of approval on a very key and important, potentially very important digital asset that will, I think, help to lower costs, lower risks in the market, because we can now move towards an instantaneous almost settlement of payment versus delivery for securities thanks to on-chain stablecoins. And that will help, I think, innovation and to really get our markets, to be the best in the world.
No question about it. And what a difference an election makes. My goodness. If Gary Gensler was here today, none of this would be happening. It's unbelievable. Very grateful, I can tell you that. Well, here's Kathy Wood, who's very grateful. She says that they are growing more confident that Bitcoin will reach $1.5 million. Now, I want to play the last part of this clip really quickly here.
Still pointing to a bull market. And we've just had a major breakout. I think many of the technicals were beginning to look a little iffy or shaky, and they have now been cleared. Those hurdles have been cleared. So we think that for the next year, that this bull market will remain intact.
So calling for the bull market to remain intact going into 2026. Loving that for us, right? And a call for 1.5 million Bitcoin in the near term also, in the next several years. Nonetheless, I want to bring you into this gentleman here. I don't know who this guy is. He's surfaced lately. He has these videos, they pop up. You know how it is. People come on the scene. But he talks about how Bitcoin is going to get rug pulled and pulled away. I want to share this point of view, and then I want to share this with you and then discuss why I disagree with it now. And you guys know I have gone down the Bitcoin rabbit hole for a long time, and I firmly believe today that the Bitcoin was a U.S. government psyop created. There is more than one Satoshi, and the reason that we're watching the United States government adopt it is because it is a U.S. government psyop. Otherwise, why would they ever adopt it without knowing who the creators actually were? I believe the government knows exactly who created Bitcoin, and that's why they know that they can use it. Because you can't say, if you truly don't know who created Bitcoin, why would you ever accept it in your government and your treasury and the rest of it and corporates and all of this? Why would you ever allow that to happen? Because it could be North Korea doing it or some other bad actor. Right? So that's why I feel like with the confidence we see. But nonetheless, let's play this quick clip. It's not the whole thing. Here we go.
You have this opportunity to be able to capitalize, we say, on an entire new financial system. But in order for that to work, Bitcoin itself, we had to get rid of. Why do we have to get rid of it? Because it's got so much blood on its hands. It was tied to the old Kabbalist network. So therefore, they're going to be able to bring it in as a security. They will get everybody to bring into this network all the big wealth and the money and currency, and everybody's pumping. Sure, it'll go to 200,000 or whatever it is that they're claiming it's going to go to. But that's it. And at the right moment, done. Just like that, overnight, while you're sleeping, that entire market will collapse. And that's done by design. It's because Bitcoin was never meant to be the new world reserve currency. It was a beta test program. And if you don't understand that, you're in the wrong game. If you've invested into that up to this point, my advice for you is to get out while you still can. You might be like, oh, well, Trump's got a Bitcoin strategic reserve. That's the name of the reserve. You believe that the Federal Reserve was also part of the government, did you not?
All right, look, I'm going to stop it there. It goes a little left there. But look, I mean, he's basically saying that they're going to rug pull Bitcoin, right? But one of the one of the creeds that I follow myself as an investor is, and I've said it on the channel a gazillion times, is I'm stacking my pennies next to their dollars. Who are they? The elite, the leaders of this financial world, and that they are adopting this technology. I'm following the BlackRocks, the Fidelities, the rest of it, right? And I'm also following the Trump family. And the new Trump media has just announced that it holds around $2 billion in Bitcoin and Bitcoin-related securities. So as long as they're holding it, I'm holding it. As long as BlackRock's doing Bitcoin ETFs, I'm holding it. You see where I'm going here? Now, he's certainly welcome to his opinion, and I certainly believe that the Bitcoin, if they keep it around and allow it to go into a strategic reserve and those things, then it just clearly tells me it was created by the U.S. government, and it was created and only had 21 million total circulating supply, so they could conflate the price and, in fact, use it to help cut some of the debt by getting all of us to buy some. That's what I think. At this point, that's what I think. And if something changes, I'll change. But if I see the Trump family and Trump media holding $2 billion in Bitcoin, and I see BlackRock still selling Bitcoin ETFs, I'm in it until they're not in it, because I'm stacking my pennies next to their dollars, not financial advice. But we need to pay attention to the market shifting, because the markets are shifting. And this is not unheard of. In fact, this is quite normal and very common. Crypto traders are increasingly shifting their capital into Ethereum, XRP, and Solana, Doge, as Bitcoin finds footing near 120,000. You know how this works. Bitcoin dominance takes over and leads the market because we're not in anything other than a speculative market at the moment. But we're quickly getting the legislation becoming law that will move us to where utility becomes the price driver of this market. But until then, what we experience is Bitcoin dominance runs up, it takes a breath, it cools off, and then altcoin season begins. That's what we normally see take place. And I think that that's right where we're at here, and certainly according to Gert Van Lagen, who says exactly that. He says, alt cap, total 2 week here, ready to explode into price discovery, he says. Massive tension built up within a 4-year cup and handle pattern. I say, let it rip. And the reality is, and I've said this a bunch, a great macro way to look at this market is stop trying to figure out what price things will be at and start asking yourself, how much more market cap comes into this space by the end of the year? Now, we just hit 4 trillion. So is it another 5 trillion that comes in? 2 trillion, 8 trillion, 10 trillion? You get the idea. How much more money is going to flood into this crypto market cap? And certainly he's talking about just altcoins in this diagram, Bitcoin not included. So that's the question you need to ask yourself one way or the other. And that's why I have set up some things here for us to look at before we look at the charts. But breaking, XRP has surpassed Nike in terms of market capitalization. And breaking again, XRP overtook Shell Oil in market cap also. So this is what is happening here. And you have to look at this stuff and ask yourself, where are we in comparison to the early days of the internet? This is a fantastic comment and clip from Sergey Nazarov from Chainlink, and he breaks this down beautifully.
If this was the early internet era, what year would crypto be in?
I would say 97, 98, something like that.
Really?
Yeah. Let me explain. So cryptocurrency tokenization is like the early form of email, where very few people had email, but people knew what email was, but they didn't use it yet. Real world asset tokenization is mass adoption of email, where everyone is using email. And DeFi is like e-commerce. DeFi is at the 200 billion, 100, 200 something billion level, which is nothing. Which is like e-commerce when you were shipping checks by mail to buy books. That's where DeFi is. So where we are right now is people know what email is. Most of them don't use it. And e-commerce doesn't have credit cards for you to interact with it efficiently. And so you have to mail checks to Amazon in Seattle. And when they receive your mailed check, then they will ship you the book that you discovered on their website. And you wrote down what book you wanted. You put it in the envelope with a check, and you mailed them the check. That's where we are right now.
And I think Ripple is in a position that I compare to Amazon circa 1997, where Amazon at those ages, which you and I will remember, it wasn't Amazon, it was Amazon Books. The name of the company was Amazon Books, and it competed with Borders and Barnes & Noble. Today, obviously, it does lots of things. I think of Ripple, our first vertical, the books is to cross-border payments for Ripple.
Sergey,
no question about it. I love that breakdown of where we are. And remember, he said 1997. Now, 1996 is when they passed the Telecommunications Act that unlocked the dot-com boom. So with that being said, let's talk about this. XRP price could reach $18 if the total market cap reaches 15 to 20 trillion. All of this is based off of the prediction that Bo Hines, the director of President's Council of Advisors for Crypto Assets, has said in an interview that we covered here on this channel. He suggested that the crypto market could reach a valuation of 15 to 20 trillion in the coming years. For context, the crypto market is currently at a little over 4 trillion a day, right? And we'll see what goes. But he said that based on just passing the stablecoin bill. Now, with that being said, if you come down here, the analysts took all this hypothetical scenario, for instance, and worked the XRP dominance and basically took this number and said, if Bitcoin and XRP were to stay and grow in the same proportional place that they currently are today, and you just keep adding the volume in the market and the money in the market, it basically comes out that if this suggests that XRP could reach a higher market share and price point than $18 in a global market value of 20 trillion, especially if Bitcoin trades above 600K. So while estimating XRP's future price, such as a valuation, is challenging, analysts offer projections. For example, Telegon suggests that XRP could reach $36 when Bitcoin is trading at 620,000, saying by 2030. The question is how long will it take to get there, right? That's really the question here, and we will keep an eye on it. But here is another chart that is a market cap chart, and that's the reason I'm highlighting this. This is a this is a market cap chart for XRP specifically. So this is where we currently are right now, 206 billion plus, and you can see where this shows going up to 310, and your lines here for the fibs. 500 billion, then just under a trillion at 956 billion plus, and then pulling back, coming back and retesting that 1.272 potentially, and then taking off again and doing a 1.64 trillion as the money moves into the space. Now, all of this is something we have to watch out for, but this is where you come up and arrive and ask yourself, how much market cap do you think XRP will gain? Do you believe, going back to the collective market cap for crypto, we're at 4 trillion now? How much more? Do you think 6 more trillion comes into this space by the end of the year? 1 more trillion? 2? I don't know what the number is. I'm asking you to project in your mind what you think it is. And then if you think, let's say if we're at 4 trillion, let's say you think another 2 trillion comes in over the next several months to the end of this year. Well, that would put us at 6 trillion. So how much of that 2 trillion coming into the market do you see XRP capturing? Another 200 billion worth? I don't know. I just think this is a great way to look at this market. So this chasm line from Egrad Crypto shows that if we touch that line, we're going to see the $11. If we cross that line, we could see a breakout to $37. And again, price targets here from Dark Defender, because it's good to get a broad stroke of opinions. Looking at 361, 585, 976, 1822, and $23. Then coming here, again, the great Matt speak. People don't realize that XRP had an 800% monthly candle following the continued Bollinger Band expansion. So looking at that, Great Matsby also shared this. Just to clarify, a 1,300% increase would align perfectly with the green level of my GAN analysis, targeting approximately $45. What do all the XRP haters have to say about the potential, that potential? You know, we don't know yet where this will go, but we do know that we have seen these explosive breakouts in the past. So don't take this off the table, just like don't take off of the table this notion. Up until now, this has been a speculative market for crypto completely and entirely. However, with the onset of legislation becoming law, we are quickly going to see a drastic change with new participants moving into this space. Not only 401k holders, but I'm talking about the rest of the financial system. I'm talking about tokenizing all of Wall Street. This is the stuff I'm talking about and what I'm excited to see come into this space. And I know it won't happen overnight, but I know one thing. I'm glad I'm here to see it happen at all. And the truth is it 800%, 1,300%? And will we experience the deep pullbacks that we normally do from the speculative market we've all known to date? Or will those things start to soften? Will those dips begin to be more shallow because of the level of players moving into the space, taking massive positions and bringing utility along for the ride? I don't know, but I know one thing. I can't wait for XRP to be driven by utility as a price driver, because at that point, I think we'll all be very happy with wherever we are and where we're going at that point. Not financial advice from me or anyone else. I'll catch all of you on the next one.